Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 indie games of 2015. Now, everyone has a different idea of what they classify as indie. For our list, as long as a game was developed by a very small studio without insane funding from a publisher, it's allowed to be featured on this list. With that being said, let's get right into this with number 10. Number 10, Massive Chalice. Massive Chalice is a turn-based strategy game by Double Fine. In the game, you play as a ruler that has to defend his kingdom. The game switches between two different playstyles: strategy, where the player makes long-term decisions, and tactical, where the player commands teams of heroes in turn-based battles against the invaders.
To guide them.
The game is very unique, and if you want to play a game that's a bit more tactical and in-depth, check out Massive Chalice, which is available on Xbox One and PC. Number 9, Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number. Hotline Miami 2 didn't get as much critical acclaim as the original, but that doesn't make it a bad game. If you've never played Hotline Miami, it's an old-school top-down shooter. It's fast-paced, it's fun, the music is fantastic, and the art style really works and complements the game, albeit not being over-the-top gorgeous graphics that you may have seen in other popular games. The narrative is also pretty good, and while some might be upset that it didn't do anything completely different from the original, more of the same of something that works well isn't a bad thing. You can check out Hotline Miami 2 on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Number 8, Titan Souls. It's surprising that Titan Souls didn't get more fame just due to the fact that it has souls in its name. Titan Souls is a 2D top-down adventure game where the player has only one arrow to use, and the goal is to defeat the 19 giant monsters in the game known as the Titans. The game has similarities to games like the classic Zelda games, Dark Souls, and Shadow of the Colossus, but it should be said that Titan Souls is not as good as the aforementioned games. The game is very difficult, but it never feels like it's tedious or unfair. And while the game is short, it does have quite a bit of replay value as well. This is one of the indie games that really went under the radar. If you haven't given a look, you can check it out on PC and PS4. Number 7, Nuclear Throne. Nuclear Throne is an apocalyptic top-down shooter. The game is in the vein of a roguelike, and if you play the game, be prepared for some very difficult gameplay, but at the same time, very rewarding. For an indie game, it has quite a bit of content and replay value, with there being over 100 weapons to pick from, and each of the weapons are pretty varied. The game also boasts one of the best soundtracks of the year, as well as great-looking artwork. Check out Nuclear Throne if you're looking for a game that's difficult but at the same time very addicting. You can check out the game on PC, PS4, PS Vita, and Xbox One. Number 6, Invisible Ink. Invisible Ink is a turn-based strategy game with an obvious inspiration from the XCOM games. While Invisible Ink doesn't have a masterfully crafted story, you could tell that obviously wasn't the developer's intent. The goal of this game was to create a very complex and in-depth game. The game is all about strategy, planning, and really thinking about what you're gonna do before you do it. If you plan correctly and accordingly, you will be rewarded. The game does have a lack of variety in level design and mission types, but Invisible Ink has all the potential in the world to become a series that's heralded in the same way that the XCOM games are. You can pick up Invisible Ink on PC, and there's also a PS4 version currently in development. Number 5, Axiom Verge. Axiom Verge was developed by Thomas Happ, and no, Thomas Happ isn't the name of a development studio, it's one guy. Axiom Verge was a game designed and written by one person, and while that would make one skeptical, don't be, Axiom Verge is fantastic. The game is in a Metroidvania style where it plays as a side-scroller, but there's quite a bit of exploration with hidden power-ups and items. The music is great, and while like Hotline Miami, the game's graphics aren't amazing in the traditional sense, it works with the style of the game as it's catered to more of an old-school audience. Axiom Verge is as good as all-time classics like Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid, so make sure to check it out. You can pick up the game on PC and PS4. Number 4, Rocket League. Psyonix created one of the surprise hits of 2015, race cars with soccer. Very few were expecting Rocket League to be a great game. Well, it goes without saying that it is a great game. It's one of the most pure fun games of the year, and while it's not a game that will keep you emotionally attached and offer a great single player, Rocket League is all about the chaotic multiplayer. Playing with 3 friends on the same team in a 4-on-4 online game, or just doing matches with split screen, it's a ridiculously fun game offering some of the best party-based gameplay I've experienced all year. And with the game running on the Unreal Engine 3, it looks very good as well. You can pick up Rocket League on PS4, PC, and it's also coming soon to Xbox One. Number 3, SOMA. It's a shame how underrated SOMA is. Frictional Games being famous for one of the most popular horror games of all time in Amnesia, you would think that SOMA would have gotten a bit more attention. Regardless, the game is a psychological psychological horror game with a very interesting story. The game takes place in Pathos 2, a remote research facility where machinery begins to take human characteristics. Graphically, the game is excellent, and for an indie game has some of the best I've seen all year. The gameplay is mainly various puzzle solving, but it is more of a story and atmosphere driven game. SOMA does something very different in the horror genre, and for that reason you should really give it a chance. You can play the game on PC or PS4. Number 2, Ori and the Blind Forest. Moon Studios made one of the most emotionally impacting games of 2015. Right off the bat, you will be emotionally invested into the world and characters of Ori and the Blind Forest. The story is extremely gripping. As far as the gameplay goes, it's a 2D platformer with puzzle solving, nothing that different from your typical platformer. The one thing you'll notice about Ori and the Blind Forest right away is the incredible visuals. The watercolor art style looks amazing and complements the atmosphere of the game. If you're even a tiny bit into platformers or just want a fantastic story in a game, I implore you, check out Ori and the Blind Forest, available on PC and Xbox One. Number 1, Undertale. Without question, Undertale is the indie game of the year. It's an RPG where you play as a child as you explore the underground. It has a lot of traditional RPG mechanics such as gaining XP and overworld and so on. In the game, you interact with many monsters and there's decisions you have to make on whether to kill them or befriend them. These decisions impact the game in a large degree, with dialogue and story changing based on your decisions. The game stands out with its writing and characters, and while the game does seem a bit comedic at first, and it's a very witty game, but there's also a very dark story and almost emotional at times. It does a great job of having a balance between the two. Undertale is a phenomenal game, and currently it's only available on PC, but just about any computer can run it, so please just go ahead and play it. So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 best indie games of 2015. Let us know what you guys think, whether you agree or disagree in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.